The Supreme Court fucked up real bad with a recent ruling. 5 out of 8 judges have recently made a ruling against the Fourth Amendment of the Constitution when they ruled that evidence of a crime may be used against the accused even if the police perform an unlawful seizure. For those not currently in middle school, the Fourth Amendment is the one that guarantees Americans freedom from the harassment of officers in the form of unlawful searches or seizures. The law, so far as we've understood it, has ruled that evidence or would-be evidence collected without warrant, without probable cause, is denied as evidence in a court setting, no matter how violent the potential evidence may be if collected illegally. That the state must adhere to a legal process that doesn't deny Americans of their Fourth Amendment rights. This is the law as we've understood it. However, on Monday, June 20th of 2016, the Supreme Court ruled by a 5-3 majority that local police may indeed perform a search or a seizure that violates your Fourth Amendment rights. The case in question, which spawned this unconstitutional ruling, involved a man by the name of Joseph Edward Strife, who was stopped by a local police officer in Salt Lake City, Utah. A police detective by the name of Doug Fackrell pulled this Joseph Edward Strife over without a reason, without probable cause that the man had done anything at all to violate the law. The detective ran Strife's information, found out there was an outstanding warrant for him, and then began to search his vehicle. The detective found that the man was carrying methamphetamine. The question for this case has been, despite the fact that this man was carrying methamphetamine, an illegal drug, is this evidence that can be used against the man since it was discovered through a search or seizure that was begat with no probable cause whatsoever? The Supreme Court majority has ruled that the regularly adhered to process of respect to the Fourth Amendment is null here, and has raised questions regarding whether or not any and all Americans are now subject to searches and seizures with no probable cause or reasonable suspicion of any crime having been committed whatsoever. Questions regarding whether or not we still live in a democracy have been raised. Questions about whether or not America, its law enforcement arm, or its courts still adhere to the Constitution. Questions arise concerning whether or not any and all Americans may now be subject to unreasonable seizures or searches without warrant or probable cause in their vehicles, in their homes. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not defending a user of methamphetamine here. I'm standing up for the Constitution and reminding the state that it must be respected. People are asking whether or not it's permissible for the state to take any decent firearm away from the populace. And for this very reason right here, this is why I argue against it. Justice Sotomayor, however, did vote against this blatant denial of every American's Fourth Amendment right, citing concerns that an unpaid parking ticket could now lead to an individual's car to be subsequently searched in the process of a constitutionally defying search and seizure. Justice Sotomayor also gave voice to those who are humiliated or violated in the course of this illegal process. Her concern was also for minorities, who are statistically more likely to be victims of quote-unquote suspicious personhood. Justice Sotomayor had some words to say about this, and this is what she said. By legalizing the conduct that produces this double consciousness, this tells everyone white and black, guilty and innocent, that an officer can verify your legal status at any time. It says that your body is subject to invasion while courts excuse the violation of your rights. It implies that you are not a citizen of a democracy, but the subject of a carceral state, just waiting to be catalogued.
They're trying to build a prison, they're trying to build a prison, they're trying to build a prison for you and me.
That's right. With all these for-profit incarceration systems that make slave labor of its prisoners, you're only as free as you think you are. And like Rome's great philosophers, we may stand at the precipice foretelling the great fall of the empire before us. Our liberties are under threat, are deteriorating, have been slowly, over a period of time, slowly removed from the populace, one at a time. And this isn't fear-mongering. This is the unfortunate reality of the United States right now. If we don't take a stand for the Constitution and rebel, we may find ourselves, or property, and especially ourselves, we may definitely find ourselves being nothing but property belonging to a land of owners. Just a bunch of animals subject to electric shock on the island of one sadistic Dr. Moreau.
We have killed. We have broken the law. No more law! No more law! No more law! Must have laws. We are not animals.
The Fourth Amendment has been assaulted, everybody, in the Supreme Court. If that doesn't show you where the United States stands on the Constitution, then I have no idea what does. Apparently it is now the state versus the populace. Perhaps it has been for some time.